Hi, my name is Lewis and I'm going to show you how to play Glori Eternia by British Briefs. It's a game for 2 to 4 players and takes around 15 to 30 minutes. In the game you play as mighty warriors on the battlefield, trying to outdo each other. It's a race to see who could defeat 100 enemies first. Today I'm going to be using this prototype deck. The card backs have its previous name, but the card's design and layout are the finished article, as you can see here. In Glori Eternia there are 3 card types: items, attack cards, and hazard cards. Let's talk about the attack cards first. These cards you play to progress in the game. Each has its own ability, axe, and or defeat cost. Like you can see here, there's defeat 2, axe 5. At the top left, you've got the name of the card. This is the illustration. At the bottom, this is how many of the card are in the deck, which allows you to keep track of how many you've passed and what could be in other players' hands. And then here, we have the information on the card, what it does when you play it. Some attack cards are more powerful than others, but all are very useful. The game is all about hand management, knowing when to hold back, when to race ahead, and when to scupper your opponents. The next card type are item cards. These represent things that aid you in battle. In the base game we have a range of axes that help you fell more foes in combat. We have 4 trusty axes and 3 unique axes that add extra flair to your movement or defense capabilities. The final type of cards are hazard cards. These represent your opponents getting into trouble in battle. The red fellas here are mighty bosses that have to be beaten before the player can progress, while mortal blow represents the player being mortally wounded in battle. But never fear, as there is always a way out of any bad situation, if you've saved the right card. All of these cards have extra little details, and I shall cover that in the gameplay walkthrough. Okay, so this is the how to play Glori Eternia video. I've got the deck here and a printed out score sheet. You don't have to use a score sheet, it's optional. You could use an iPhone to track it, or an iPad, an app. Any score app will do, or the old-fashioned way, pencil and paper. But I quite like using this score tracker because you get to see everybody's progress and it's nice and easy. Today I'm going to be showing you how to play a 2-player game. That's why I've got 2 little counters at the top. And yeah, so let's just give it a go. So first things first, you deal 5 cards to each player. Mia can help me with this, so you can carry on. So you always draw up to 5 at the end of every turn. So you start with a hand of 5. We'll play with our hands face up so you can see what's going on. So I've got a chop there. I've got cleave. So yeah, I've got a hand of entirely attack cards, which is a nice starting hand. If Mia places her hand face down as well.
So I've got quite a nice hand too, because I've got some axes I can use and some attack cards and a hazard card, a boss card.
Not 2 hazard cards because you've got the mortal blow there as well. So yeah, I'll go first, and in my turn I'm just going to play one of my attack cards. Now the thing is, when you're playing the game you really want to look at the defeat and axe costs. Because if you have an axe in front of you, you can generally take down more enemies. But if you don't have an axe, you can still take down some enemies, but having an axe is always advantageous, even if it does sometimes make you more of a target by your opponents. So first up, let's have a look at this mighty blow. It defeats 5, axe is 2, oh sorry, focus is going, and it says if axe, you may break 1 item in play. So if I had an axe, I could use this card here to break someone else's axe. I wouldn't progress as much, but I would be able to stymie someone's progress by smashing their axe, or at least attempting to. Now, cleave, I could defeat 3, or axe 7, and it says here, pick a random card from any player and discard it. So that's not optional, you have to pick a card from one of your opponents and throw it out. And Chop is a nice cycling card. There's lots of them in the deck. They're very weak. You defeat 2 or axe 5. And it says you may discard up to 2 cards from your hand. And at the end of your turn, you draw up to 5. So it allows you to get rid of a lot. Strike's also good because you defeat 5 and you can throw your whole hand out and draw a new one. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get this strike and I'm going to throw everything away. And I'm going to move 5 on the score chart. So I'll be green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we are. And then I draw up to 5. Like I say, you normally don't play the game with your hand face up, but today I'm going to give it a go. So you can see what I'm doing. And now I've got an axe, which is great. So in my turn I could play that. And I've got a nice boss card down here, a nice powerful boss. Yeah, so you always draw up to 5 and you only ever play 1 card on your turn. So you play 1, resolve its effects, draw up to 5. And right, so now it's Mia's turn.
Okay, so I'm going to lay my Kingslayer axe in front of me to use that. This is a nice axe because it means boss cards of power 3 or less may not be played against you. So for instance, someone couldn't play the Evil Sorceress on me because she's got the boss power of 3. And I'm going to draw back up to 5.
Okay, and then it goes back to Mia again. So even though Mia didn't progress there, she did play an axe, which is, you know, good to have out in front of you. It's very advantageous. So I'm going to do exactly the same, but except mine's the weaker, trusty axe with no special abilities. And then I'm going to draw up to 5. Oh, and I've got the Furious Assault, which defeats 10, which rapidly moves you through the game. And it also has the ability to beat a boss in one go. But we'll talk about boss power when that comes up. Now, moving back to Mia.
Yep, so I've got my axe there, and now I'm going to Rage axe 10. So I'm going to put that there.
Yeah, and then
I'm going to move my
my
counter all the way to 10. What?
Excellent. Well, eventually. There we go.
And then draw up to 5.
Okay. Then on my turn, I'm getting a bit, you know, tired of her rapidly moving forward all of a sudden. So I'm going to play the Oni. Now, it's a boss power 4, which means in order to defeat it, you have to play 4 attack cards upon it. That's not a value of 4 in its defeat or axe, but 4 actual cards. Unless she also has a Furious Assault. Oni's also got the ability of Break. It's the only card in the game with that. And, well, apart from Mighty Blow. But I'm going to play it on Mia. But now Mia has the potential to stop it with the only counter card in the game, which is called
Swift Move. Swift Move may discard any card that's played in the game. During any player's turn, you can just get the Swift Move out and say, no, that move's not happening, I'm going to stop that. And in turn, someone else could, if they have a Swift Move, they could say, oh, I'm going to Swift Move your Swift Move and stop you from doing that.
So it acts as a counter card, so it's an instant counter. But if you play it out of your turn, you wouldn't draw up to 5 because you only draw up to 5 at the end of your own go. So Mia's going to be one card down for her next turn. So sadly, my Oni wasn't effective, so I'm going to just draw a card. And it's another Furious Assault, which will be very useful later on. Okay, now it's Mia's turn again.
Back to me. Well, I'm gonna axe for 5 using the chop. Now chop, if you don't have an axe, you can defeat 2, which means move 2. But I do have an axe, so I'm moving 5, and also the ability is you may discard up to 2 cards from your hand. So maybe I don't really need this trusty axe anymore here because I've got my Kingslayer. So I'll discard this and chop over there, and then I'll draw back up to 5. 2, 3, and move 5 on the score chart. There we go.
Okay, so she's getting in the lead. Now, in my turn, I'm going to play Furious Assault and just move 10. So now we are equal. And then it's over to Mia again.
Okay, so I am going to be a bit mean.
I should draw as well.
Going to be a bit mean here, and I'm going to place a Mortal Blow.
And then I'm going to Swift Move and counter that to stop it from happening. Now, Mortal Blow pulls you out of the game until you manage to draw a Rage card. So if you don't want to play a card on your turn, You have the option of discarding 2 and drawing 2 to cycle slowly through to try and get the cards you need. But generally you want to play a card if you can. But yeah, Mortal Blow means you can't play attack cards, so you can't progress while you've taken the Mortal Blow. You can only have 1 hazard card in front of you at any one time and 1 item card. You can never have more than 1. You just have to trade out the item card if you want to replace your axe. And no one can play a hazard on you until you've recovered from the one you've got.
Which is a good thing, really, because it's pretty nasty.
Yeah, okay. So was that your go over?
Yep.
Okay. Now it is my turn. So I'm a card down because I played a swift move. So I'm going to save the Furious Assault because that allows me to instantly discard a boss. So it's worth keeping that. So what I'm going to do is actually play this Mighty Blow to axe 2 and
You're going to break my axe,
break your axe.
Oh.
But then you could stop it with a swift move, but perhaps you want to save it in case I play something nastier on you later on.
Yeah, I got plenty of axes.
Because it is about hand management. Right, so there we go. Right, so now it's the end of my go. I'm going to draw 2 cards. So the Goblin King and Chop. So this is a really good boss. It's a tricky one. That's probably one of the trickier bosses because you have to swap hands with the player who targeted you. So if I played it on Mia, she would have to give me her hand and I'd have to give her mine. And I've got a Furious Assault, which means she'd be able to get rid of him on her next turn. So it wouldn't be the best of ideas. Okay, so now moving on to your turn, Mia.
Okay, I'm going to replace my broken axe with a trusty axe, just like yours. Nothing fancy, but he's cool. And I'm going to draw back up to 5.
Okay, it's my turn again. I'm going to play a Chop because I want to keep the Goblin King. I don't want to use him. And Furious Assault I still want to retain just in case she plays a boss on me. So I'm going to get rid of these 3. I'm going to play Chop and discard 2. And that means I'm going to progress 5 because I've got the axe. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we are. 22. And then I'll chuck them 3 cards out and draw another 3. 1, Rage. 2, Frost and Flame. And 3. Now, I've got another swift move, which is great. Rage is the only card that allows you to come back from a Mortal Blow. So if a Mortal Blow's played on you, you have to have that there. And Frost and Flame, which gives a +2 bonus to any defeat, any time you defeat or axe. So both of these would be worth 12 if I had that out. It's a very, very good card. Okay, I'm moving on to Mia's turn.
Okay, I'm going to use Cleave, which means I can move with my axe for 7. And also the ability is pick a random card from any player and discard it. So I'll put that one there.
Okay, because obviously she could see all my cards, what I'm going to do now is bunch them all up, shuffle them up under the table, and spread them out. So now Mia can randomly take one from my hand.
I'll pick this one. I have the Goblin King. And he gets thrown in the discard pile. And I'll draw back up to 5.
Okay, so I'm a card down again now, but I mean, thankfully the Goblin King's gone, which has kind of done me a favour, because it means I get to draw up another card next turn. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to Furious Assault forward 10. I'm going to risk it. So that puts me forward 10. So I'll just go down. And then I'm going to draw 2 cards. So Rage and a Rage.
All of the rages. Right, so I'm going to waste one of your rages by putting a Mortal Blow on you.
Okay, because normally she wouldn't know I had these cards, so she's going to try and scupper me by playing a Mortal Blow on me and taking me out of the game. And when a Mortal Blow is played on you, you may not play any attack cards. Okay, aside from a Rage on it. You can't play attack cards to progress anymore. Okay, now Mia's drawn is my turn, so I'm going to lay a Rage to now, because I could have swift moved it, but because I've got 3 Rages, there's no point in me wasting this counter card. I might as well just sacrifice my turn and get rid of the Mortal Blow and then draw a card. Okay, another Rage. There's only 6 in the deck and I seem to just constantly be drawing them. Okay, now it's Mia's turn.
I am going to Mighty Blow your axe. So I'll move 2, unless you're going to stop me.
No, it's fine. Because Because you see I've got the Frost and Flame here, so I might as well keep
I'm
it.
quite far behind, so your axe is now broken. And I'll draw back up to 5.
Let me draw back up. So I'd put my Frost and Flame out as my go, and I will draw up a card. I've got an Evil Sorceress too, so there's 2 in the deck. We've both got one. Okay, now it's Mia's go.
I think I'm going to Furious Assault. I'm going to be greedy and use that. I know I should hold on to it, but I'm far behind and I want to catch up.
Okay, the only thing we haven't really covered so far is if a boss gets played on you and you can't get rid of it via a swift move. So for instance, hypothetically, if I didn't have the swift move and Mia played an Evil Sorceress on me, it would trigger its effect and it would sit in front of me until I could get rid of it. So what she would do is randomly discard 3 cards from her hand. So I'd shuffle my hand up and she'd pick 3. So let's just say like that. And then I'm left with just the 1 card. And then my next turn, all I can do is play that card upon her. And because she's got a boss power of 3, I'd have to play 3 cards. That's potentially 3 turns I'm out of the game. But this is a way of balancing it. It might seem harsh, but it does work really well. It still flows. And there's a real rubber banding that goes on because people get in the lead and then people catch up and then it gets a bit to and fro. And it's enjoyable. It's not too punishing. It allows for some light competitive fun. Essentially, that's Eternal Glory. The victory condition is to get to 100 defeats. Whoever gets there first wins the game. Although because I started the game, if I was to have got there first, Mia would get 1 other turn to try and overtake me. And if she could, she'd be the winner. With a Kickstarter as well, if it hits the goals and we earn enough funding, I've also come up with a few little extras. There's rival cards which act as AI opponents you can play against. I'm still trying to work out a solo game, but for now you throw these in with other players. Maybe if you've got a 2-player game and you want to mix it up a bit, you put one of these in and they progress on the chart across the battlefield on their own, and they've all got their own separate rules. All of them have beaten me and other players, through a lot of the playtesting we've been doing, and they've been really refined and worked out. And there's also versions of them as bosses, which make use of the discard pile and allow you to take cards from other players' hands and also push you backwards on the track, allowing for a deeper game with even more strategy. And the item cards, which replace the trusty axes, are also the same. They have different abilities, but I won't spoil that now. If and when it happens, you'll get to see them when we progress through the stretch goals. But thanks for watching the video, and I hope you enjoy the game.